Okay, hello. I did deforestation in protected areas in the Amazon, a threat to biodiversity. So, like a little background on it. Um, Obviously, it's in Brazil, but most of Brazil's natural resources are located in the Amazonian territory. The international Amazon and Pan-Amazonian is almost 8 million square kilometers, which accounts for 5% of Earth's surface and 50% of the southern South American continent. That's pretty huge. The Brazilian Amazon is home to about one third of the world's rainforests. Preservation of the Amazonian forest is really important because it'll help combat climate change, which is a huge issue right now. And it helps protect biodiversity and preserve the indigenous cultures. And like preserving biodiversity is so important. Like it does so much more than people think it does. The Amazonian region is feeling the effects due to the anthropogenic actions being taken on the land. So focuses on deforestation. Deforestation in the Amazon region is linked to economic factors such as like export markets, the timber sector, livestock, agribusinesses, palm oil production, like soybeans. Deforestation puts pressures on natural ecosystems, which results in the decrease of biodiversity and loss of vegetation in areas that are for conservation. The Brazilian government originally created protected areas and indigenous lands as a way to try to combat deforestation. That's not really working. And what are Brazil's protected areas? So they were divided into two groups, and the first one is the sustainable use units, which focuses on areas of relevant ecological interest. So it's like national forests. And then the other is the integral protection units, which looks more at like the indirect use of natural resources. So the area of study was in Western Morahan. I looked it up. I still cannot pronounce this. It's located in the Amazon biome. It's in a high stage of degradation and has lost 75% of its original vegetation coverage. This study looks at the category of the integral protection in the Maharan region and is considered extreme high priority and is protected because it is home to the indigenous group. And again, I'm going to butcher the name, but Awa Jeras. So to conduct this study, they used bibliographical searches, digital processing of satellites, images, geoprocessing, and remote sensing techniques. They basically just used a lot of GIS, and then they just like put it like all on maps. They collected samples in each class of vegetation coverage. They looked at stuff like forest exploitation, deforestation, burning, water, cloud, and like shade occurrence. And they found that the anthropogenic activities such as the forest exploitation actions, fires, and deforestations are occurring in protected areas at high intensities. This makes no sense because the protected areas are written in Brazil's law, so people are just breaking the rule. Indigenous lands generally have slower deforestation rates than protected land, but it's still an issue. 237.3 thousand hectares were deforested in protected areas in the Amazon. That's about 136 million trees were cut down. This causing the death or displacement of almost 4.2 million birds and 137,000 monkeys. Vegetation exploitation and deforestation was most significant in the protected Morahau area than other areas they studied. And these are just some graphs. So those are like in the figure 5, those were like the 4 areas that they studied, and that's the plant coverage patterns. You can see they all decrease. And then forest exploitation and deforestation is 2 different things. So this one was just a map of, you can like tell which one was happening where. And on the figure 3, it's just a couple other like maps they created using the categories that they did their study on. And I thought these were like pretty interesting because they just took all of their data and they put them into like separate graphs to really show you. And then my questions were, do you think the government should be doing more to help protect these protected areas? Do you think it is more important preserving land for indigenous groups or preserving land for biodiversity and native animals? And should the government implement the use of more geotechnologies in order to monitor the deforestation rates more accurately in protected areas? And then that's my works cited.